What is up, beautiful people? Quick little video just discussing why you see Gohan always topping right now and why it's going to be a Gohan format. If you don't have the deck, I hate to say it, you need to either play an anti-deck or just not play right now because this deck is very hard to beat. We're just going to cover the reason why, and it'll be that fast and that simple. Let's go with the easy and the obvious, okay? First of all, the leader. The leader is very, very, very strong, and it is one of the best leaders in the game. And this little fake list here, I see I didn't even put in a super combo, which is bad. But that's the biggest reason and the power of the deck is that if you stay unawakened, you can easily start looking for your super combos. So super combos are a big part of the game. You guys saw me abuse it for the last regional. It can help you a lot. Because it has built-in power advantage. Super combos is one of the least good designs in the game, and it makes it so you can win very easily without skill. So you'll see a lot of matches and games get decided by the super combo, just like, hey, I had 2 super combos, my opponent had 3. And it can be that simple because you got to figure that's a 10k and it draws cards. Or will filter in the case of defending Paragus and other super combos. You can get rid of a bad card from your hand, which makes it a lot better. So that being said, the other part that makes it so good is that in one turn, you can first swing with your leader and then combo after. When you combo, it has a built-in effect where you can filter once again. So this deck does a very good job of finding the perfect hand. As you guys saw on my previous list, I was running multiple surprise attack freezes. I would frequently put a extra Frieza at the bottom once I had one, because all I need is one. But I wanted to find it and play it, and I was good to go. It also has an extra ability, which is not that big of a deal. But basically, if you swung with your 8-drop, you got a free combo, and therefore you got a free draw. So if you know your opponent was going to negate your attack with a big floodgate like Hachiyak that you know you can't get through, you could play your 8-drop if you really wanted to, swing, get a free combo, and then filter a card and draw 2 and keep energy up. So that was a huge advantage. Another big advantage is this card right here. This is probably the reason Gohan is the best deck in the format. I would argue it's tier 0, and that anything else you're playing, you're just kind of like building decks to try to beat it. Just play the best decks. This makes green good forever, and it's why Wild Resurgence likely will be the best card for a while. I see here somehow I didn't rated this as a 0.5 out of 5. I don't know why. This is the best card ever. So you just have to be a mono green Saiyan in a game where almost every card is a Saiyan because that's the primary focus in this series. If you do, you can negate the attack. Then if you have 4 or less life, you may discard a card from your hand and it creates attacks. On top of that, you may activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its cost by discarding any green card from your hand. This is important because people were discarding Kotsukai at the last regional. Can't do that. You can only discard a green card. But then also it has a second ability. This is why it's so good with Gohan, is that then you get to draw a card. So on your turn 2, you frequently don't have a lot of energy to blow. You know, games go very slow now. You might want to just sit back. If you're at 4 or less life already, this can be a great play. Or if you want, you can just negate the attack, paying it for 1 just to draw a card, and just stop like a leader swing. In the early game, you're not going to use the discard effect, but you just might want to just be like, hey, you know what? Let's go another turn. Let's make you waste an attack. And sometimes it's just a very solid strategy. So the other parts that makes this deck so good is it comes into play with a field. Okay, this is really good. Really solid card. This field spell lets you effectively be awakened when you're unawakened because it gives you a 5k boost once you have it underneath. And then you also have the ability to take your own life at instant speed effectively, which is very great because in this game, there's frequently decks that will try to deprive you of cards until they set up crit battle cards. And you can be like, nope, I'm going to go to 4. So in this deck, you're always going to go to 4 very easily. Because the leader will go to 6 when it wants to. If you have 4 or less life, or you have this Goku in play, you can do this. And then, so if you've done that already, you can then take the other 4, and then voila, you're good to go. So I like that attribute a lot. Okay, so the other part that makes this deck really, really solid, and probably the last part I'm going to talk about, is this card. A lot of people have complained about it. I can understand why. It makes sense. This card is an SER in power level. So it costs 2, which is what Sin Shenron used to cost. Sin Shenron had built-in triple strike, and that's all he had besides a removal ability. This card has a removal ability, the ability to crit a life, and it gains barrier when you play it for the turn. What makes it even better is this card, of course, has deflect. It can KO any battle card, and your opponent has to lose a card from their hand and place it in the drop. This is a very insanely powerful card. Your opponent has to have 3 or more energy, so this means that on your turn 3, it is very, very strong going on the draw. So generally speaking, in this game, you can't win on turn 3 if you're going second. It's almost impossible. You have to wait till your turn 4, and then you can attrition your opponent's hand, and then the sweet spot's usually turn 5. This deck can kill on 3 if you get this card, and let's say you've already Z-Awakened on your turn 2 because your opponent was aggressive. It's actually very possible then to play this card, attack, get the free combo from your Z leader, and then get them down to 2, and then have this card kill them. It's a 35k base, and the fact that it combos with a Goku from the drop. If you've discarded a Goku from this effect, you just get a free 10k. It's pretty great. So you combine that with this right here, being your Z leader, and it says you can combo 1 10k for free. So you do all that synergy, you just have a ton of power. Now, the other part that makes Gohan good that doesn't really matter is just the customization about it. So if you see here, I have a bunch of cards I've been trying. They didn't really work out. But you can play whatever you want for the extra spots. Like I was running Mass Saiyan because I'm a big fan of this card. I think it's a staple in every deck. And then, it's got a lot of other cute tricks. Some cards are less good. Like right now, like Great Ape is actually not the best turn 1 play anymore. But it was always, like in an aggressive build, it was amazing. So, I could see lowering this as we see the format change. I was trying out some blue. Didn't really work, but you just try out stuff. Because green's getting the tools it needs, now blue can be a relevant deck again, and that's what makes it great. And it's not even really again, it's the first time. Focus Breakthrough is also a great card because it helps with your yellow matchup. Basically, you get to place a card in the drop instead. You don't have a blue-green or a red-green with this deck anymore because it took away the Vegeta combo. But we were going to put in a red-green untapped land because we had the built-in loop. And then the last thing that made this deck good was just you have built-in staples. Like Kaioken is just a very solid card. It has critical 1 energy and your opponent discards a card. So it's going to be pretty common that opponent brings in like the Boros and stuff. You just don't play these 2 cards when your opponent has 1 energy open, and you'll be okay. I'm even maining this Majin Vegeta just to try it out. People were commenting on my YouTube incorrectly saying I played it from my drop when it was my effect. The only time I got to do it was my opponent did use Topo, and under their Topo, I played both of my Majin Vegetas, which felt great because it let me filter 2 cards for free, and I got 2 10k, 2 5ks for a 10k, so it was awesome. Besides that, it's just a solid deck. I don't know how to really improve this deck for Gen Con. I'm trying to. I'm going to come up with something spicy. We're going to make the deck private, and we'll figure it out.